Hello and welcome to the K-Town Talking Podcast. My name is K-Town Casey, and we're going to jump straight into it for a third time. So, episode 3 here. Not much happened yesterday, only 2 commits yesterday, and so I figured with that being really the only thing going on, tomorrow, of course, is Joey Aguilar's hearing. Tonight, I figured I would go over everyone who has committed since February 9th. So that's the past 3 days, and I wanted to just go over everybody. So the first player to commit on February 9th is Braylon Otis out of Liverpool High School in New York. He committed to Boston College. He is a class of 2027 edge rusher. He wears number 7, 6'5", 232 pounds. The Rivals industry ranking has him at a 3-star. If you look at his highlight reel, it's a solid addition for Boston College. He looks like he has some power and some speed. He comes off the perimeter very fast and gets in there and causes trouble. Looks like an explosive athlete. He's just exactly what you would want from a defensive edge rusher. Even a little bit taller than most. He's 6'5". Most edge rushers are around the 6'4" to 6'3" range. He's a little on the skinny side, but he's near average. 232. The average is 231. Average is 235. And so he's right in the middle ground of every statistic. His hands are a little small. That doesn't really matter for an edge rusher. He has a 4.91 40, so that's on the higher end for edge rushers. So he's a little bit of a power guy. That, of course, being class of 27, I mean, he could grow, he could change, and you could see him start posting better 40 times. A 102 in the broad jump, which is a little low, and a 30-inch vertical, but stats don't lie, and the kid's got the stats. I mean, he plays better than he physically appears, at least. And Braylon Otis, I mean, it's a great addition for Boston College, and I'm excited to see what he does. Moving on, Tennessee picks up a 0-star wide receiver out of Bradley Central High School in Cleveland, Tennessee. He also committed on February 9th. 6'2", 190 pounds, class of 2026. If you watch this guy's highlight reel, he throws the ball a little bit in his highlights, and he throws it well. Not the guy you would want in at quarterback for the entire football game, but if you want to shake some things up or say, bad things happen during the season and all of your quarterbacks are injured, he might be your guy to throw in at quarterback. It's a crazy thing to think about, but he has the track speed. He absolutely torches his defenders. He just has these shoulder feints, and he's got some impressive motion canceling. Like he can just stop on a dime. He can say, all right, turn around. He can say, all right, I'm cutting right. All right, I'm cutting left. He can do it all. He burns defenders in the open field. You have to have a guy in a zone watching him, as well as having him manned up, or you just have to run zone coverage against this guy, at least at the high school level. He's quick, very, very quick. I keep continuing to say he is fast. He's a mid-sized wide receiver, a little bit taller than some wide receivers. And, again, he's just fast, man. Braden Carroll looks like a great addition for the Vols, even though Rivals has him at 0 stars. You watch his highlight reel, and also the thing is, when they are low-star players, you look at the offers, and Tennessee, Kennesaw State, Middle Tennessee State, Cincinnati, and Appalachian State. Tennessee, obviously, the best out of those. It's an SEC program, but Kennesaw State, Middle Tennessee State, Cincinnati, and Appalachian State are, of course, Division I FBS programs, so he's obviously gaining attention on his highlights. Coaches don't care about stars most of the time. They care about highlights, and especially in this day and age with all the misses on guys like Diego Pavia, Joey Aguilar, all those guys who fell, way out of everybody's recruitment board and really shouldn't have. And Braden Carroll seems like one of those guys at a national level, and Tennessee just figured out who he was and watched his highlights, and they were impressed, obviously. Kelsey Pope, I think he made a good addition there. Next is Tyler Carpenter. He committed on February 9th as well from Trotwood Madison High School in Dayton, Ohio. He committed to the University of Ohio. 6'2", 205, plays linebacker, wears the number 8. He's a class of 2027 recruit. If you look at his highlights, they are possibly misleading. As you see him making plays though. He's a great coverage linebacker from what I picked up. He's quick, very quick. He's a slightly undersized guy, I think. He's not small, but he is slightly undersized on his highlight reel. Now, they have him listed, I do believe, I said at 6'2", which, obviously he could have grown just in the past, 2-3 months and be a lot taller than most of his highlight reel. But in his highlight reel, he's making plays, and he's quick, charges at the ball, and gets there, and good in coverage, pretty good pass rusher from what I see, and I think he's a great addition for the University of Ohio, and, he could go a long way for sure. His highlights do look very, very impressive, but statistically he might not be as impressive of a guy as some of even the linebackers later that I'm going to talk about. But you watch his highlights, he's making plays just like Braden Carroll. And so I think that's a good addition for the University of Ohio. Next is Ben Musser. He's a quarterback out of Prince Avenue Christian in Bogart, Georgia. He committed to Appalachian State on February 9th. He's 6'2", 195, wears number 9. He's a class of 2027 recruit. The Rivals Industry ranking has him at a 3-star. You watch his highlights, the kid can sling the football down the field. I just was looking at his highlights, and he made a 60-yard throw perfectly in stride. You talk about a cannon of an arm, and that's this guy. He's got speed, too. I'm watching a clip right now. He has amazing speed. Burnt a safety on a quarterback draw, and he can throw on the run pretty well. I just watched a 40-yard throw on the run, making throws over the mid-range, 15 yards on a dime. Here he is in the state bowl game, and he just takes off from the 50-yard line and trucks through a couple people and heads into the end zone for the touchdown. So, all in all, it looks like a really solid pickup for the University of Appalachian State. Our next recruit is Eli Woodward. He is a class of 2027 recruit, wide receiver, committed to USC. That is Southern California, not South Carolina. Out of Chaparral High School in Temecula, California. 180 pounds, 5'11", wide receiver, and Rivals has him at a 3-star rating. Committed to USC over Missouri, Arizona State, Michigan, and Oregon. So those offers, wow. I mean, they obviously see something in this guy. And, you look at his highlights. I mean, he's solid. He gets off the line like lightning. And the cuts, he keeps his shoulders up. I mean, I don't even want to compare him to the Super Bowl champion, Jackson Smith-Njigba, but man, the cuts are lightning fast, and he keeps his shoulders on a level plane. His route running is superb, and anyway, that's a very good addition by Southern California. Next is Josiah Wallace. He committed to Northwestern on February 10th out of Glenbard West High School in Glen Ellen, Illinois. He is 6'8", 300 pounds, offensive tackle, wears number 72. And he committed to Northwestern over Northern Illinois, Western Michigan, Toledo, and Howard. If you look at his film, he is a wonderful lead blocker, from what I'm saying here. He gets out there, he's physical. I mean, and he's a big man. It's not hard to be physical at the size he is. But 6'8", 300 pounds in high school is just absolutely crazy. Again, watching this lead blocking ability, watching just his pass protection ability, his run blocking, and in his run blocking, he turns his back in such a way that it faces his ball carrier, and he's able to push outwards and away at a diagonal from his ball carrier, and it's just really great stuff. It's a masterclass in run blocking and pass blocking, and I mean, he can body up anyone probably in the country in high school just off of his size alone. Really impressive, and I mean, here he is just taking off down the field. He's quick for his size, 6'8", 300, and he's able to, get down the field and lead block in short order. Really impressive, and I feel like 3 stars might be. Are you telling me this guy is a 0-star? I know it's hard for. I mean, offensive linemen to get star ratings early, but he doesn't have a rating. That's interesting. Size wise, he's exactly where you want to be. 300 pounds and 6'8", so the perfect size to where he can still be mobile and agile and taller than most. So really, really great commitment for Northwestern. Next, Derek Baker commits to Tennessee out of Milton High School in Milton, Georgia on the 11th of February. He is class of 2027, wears number 1, plays quarterback. He's 6'1.5 inches, but a lot of places I've seen have him listed as 6'1", 225. The industry has him at 3 stars. He committed to Tennessee over Auburn, Wake Forest, Ohio State, and West Virginia. Really solid pickup by the Vols. I mean, he's got a highlight reel, but injuries this season kept him off the field. He played in one game, and I think he accounted for a total of, I don't know, about, I believe it was 280 yards. Couldn't exactly find the stats. It's not easily attainable. I saw it yesterday when I was doing deep research on him, and now I'm not able to find the same page where I found those claimed stats. But anyway, I believe he accounted for a total of around 350 yards. He passed for about 280 of it. 4.6 second 40. Exactly the size you want someone to be, 6'1", 225. And looks like a solid addition for the Vols. He's unproven stats-wise, but the few highlights that he has, man, he looks like a beast at quarterback. But not a lot to talk about statistically. Next is Derek Gonzalez, a offensive tackle out of Nogales, I want to say, in West Covina, California. This is also a commitment on the 11th of February. He is 6'7", 280 pounds. The industry has him at a 3-star. He committed to Kansas over San Diego State, University of Nevada at Las Vegas, Sacramento State, and Georgia. He is 280 pounds, 6'7". I already said that, but that puts him a little under where you want to be weight-wise, but about an inch above everybody height-wise. And, the weight statistic doesn't really matter for an offensive lineman until they get into college. And weight, if you don't have dietary restrictions, weight is easy to put on. And so I think that is a very solid pickup that could, definitely in the next couple of years we could see KU starting to become a more relevant football program. Next is Steele Fletcher. He committed to Wake Forest out of Providence Day High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. He is 5'8", 165 pounds, wears number 6. He is in the class of 2027. And if I pull up his sophomore highlights here, he also punt returns. But if you watch him, he lines up in the slot, and of course, and that fits the size of a guy like him. And for being the size that he is, he plays pretty physical when he has the ball in his hands. I mean, he has the evasiveness of a running back, and although he has the evasiveness of a running back, he's not afraid to pop up and get a football or to even take a hit. I mean, you watch him; he'll run through a couple of contacts at times, and down on the perimeter, if you ever wanted to put him on the perimeter, if he grows, if he gets taller, that would be a great option if he can keep up his speed. But lightning fast, quick off the line, and that looks like a pretty solid pickup for Wake Forest. He doesn't have any stars yet, but definitely, over the next football season, he could for sure pick up some stars, and we can start to get more and more excited about him as time goes on. Next is the two Coach brothers. We'll start off with Ethan. They both committed today to Washington out of St. John Bosco in Gardena, California. There we go. Ethan here, he wears number 15. He's a linebacker, 6'2", 195 pounds, has a 3-star rating in the class of 2027. Committed to Washington over UNLV, California, Arizona State, and Ohio State. interesting choice, my friend, if you had an offer to Ohio State. But then Justin is also committed with his brother today to Washington, St. John Bosco. He is 6'2", 205 pounds. He's a linebacker. He wears number 31. And he committed to Washington over UNLV, California, Arizona State, and Texas Tech. Probably to play with his brother, if we're being honest, because if they both had offers from Arizona State or, they didn't both have offers from Ohio State. So since they did both have offers from Washington, they went there, and that's great. I mean, stick with your family. That's awesome in my book, and be interesting to see what they do. They're at Washington this when they get on campus. That's all I have for recruits. I want to talk about what George MacIntyre did today. George MacIntyre at Tennessee. He could be Tennessee's starting quarterback next season. In competition with Faison Brandon. Or, sorry, not next season. He could be Tennessee's starting quarterback in the 2027 season with competition from Faison Brandon. When you look at him statistically and highlight-wise and the few downs he's played in college, he looks like he does have the skill and the abilities and definitely the stature height-wise to be a very successful quarterback. The problem is George MacIntyre has dietary restrictions that don't allow him to just eat whatever to gain weight. He has to eat certain things which are hard to gain calories from. And so George MacIntyre was in an interview today, or I do believe it was today, and George MacIntyre was asked about his weight, and he said he's trying his best. He is eating himself sick, trying to get as much weight on as he can for Vol Nation so he can go out there and compete for the starting job and go be ready to play football if his number is called this next season. And so that fires me up, man. George MacIntyre, you watch everything on him, and he seems like a great kid, and he's obviously got drive to play for the University of Tennessee. And in-state kid, and I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. George MacIntyre, I'd be excited to see what he does if he gets his shot to start. But 6'6", 195, and I say 6'6", 185. He is so insanely skinny, and I know he's trying to put on weight. But Joe Milton was arguably 6'5", 255, and George MacIntyre 6'6", by the roster's account 195, but I don't even believe that. And George MacIntyre, man, he could and probably should be 6'6", 265. I mean, Joe Milton on roster was 6'5", 250, and so George MacIntyre being 6'6", 265, that seems fair, but 195 is what he's listed as, and man, just scary thin, and you put that kid out behind one of the better offensive lines in the world, it doesn't matter. He takes a hard shot from an SEC level linebacker or even an SEC level edge rusher, you just hope he doesn't break. I mean, George could be a really great player. I still believe he is going to be a really great player, but George MacIntyre, man, he has to put on weight, and he's trying for Vol Nation, and I'm proud of him for that. And he seems fired up. He seems like he wants to get that starting job, and he wants to compete for it. And everybody's pushing him. You know, George, you got to gain weight. You got to gain weight, man. You have to gain weight. And he's like, I know, I'm trying. And that's it on him. I mean, he's just skinny, and I mean, he can play the game. Again, in his high school career, 8,293 yards, 62 touchdowns. I mean, George MacIntyre was a baller in high school, but he also doesn't have SEC caliber, not the entire team that he's going up against every week being SEC caliber defenders. And so George MacIntyre, I'm just worried about his health and well-being if he gets out there and he's just as skinny. But he has an entire offseason plus an entire season if Joey Aguilar doesn't get hurt. I'm pretty sure we all know, and we're all sure, Trinidad Chambliss, after being, or the NCAA, in quotes, put their foot down. Not really, though. I mean, he just got granted his extra year. And so Trinidad Chambliss is coming back to college ball now. So I probably should take a few minutes to do that, but I'm not even going to. If you don't know, now you know. Trinidad Chambliss today got granted an injunction and got his extra year, even though he would probably go in the third round of the draft. But whatever, man. You want to come back and play college football, have one last ride, that's okay with me. Joey Aguilar is a different scenario. I don't know that he gets drafted as high as Chambliss, but Joey Aguilar probably could get in, a 6th or a 7th round pick. But Joey trying to come back, we're almost positive that he's going to come back for another year to Tennessee, and so George MacIntyre, he has another year and a half. What is that? Well, would it be safe to say? Would it be safe to say 20 months that George MacIntyre has to put on weight before he would even? Well, he would be competing with a starting job, or for a starting job, before 20 months. But anyway, he would be getting the starting job in 20 months. And so in 20 months, how much weight can he put on? Well, if he didn't have dietary restrictions, he could probably put on 100 pounds. But he does have dietary restrictions. And so George is doing his best for Vol Nation to put on the weight so that he doesn't break, and that's admirable. And, eating himself sick just so that he can go out and compete for the Tennessee Volunteers. So if you're a Vols fan like me, that should fire you up. And that's where I'm going to end it today. Covered everything I wanted to cover. And, yeah. Don't forget to keep God first. And love y'all. Peace out.